How you doing?
Yeah.
Good, good.
What time is it over there by you?
10.
Oh man. Oh, so you're still only an hour. You're an hour off from what we were. We're usually 2 hours
Yeah,
apart.
5.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Five, right?
Yeah.
Five.
But
Now
will
we're four.
our time changes Sunday night, so we'll be back to normal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of it sucks a little bit. Like I honestly I felt like so much closer to everybody with it just being 4 hours, you know?
The hour, yeah.
Yeah. It was
The
helpful.
lighting. Do I need to put this lighting a little brighter or how does it look to you?
No, no, it looks fine. Looks good. All right.
All
I'm,
right.
I'm gonna let our guest on. We have Aria's back, right? The critical lesbian on all the
Yes.
socials. And let's see what's new in Les world.
Super excited to have her back.
Super excited. I am recording. I've learned my lesson.
We're good. Hey, there she
Hi. Good to see
Hey,
you both.
Same.
Thank you so much for rescheduling this week. I really appreciate it.
Well,
no
thank you for
problem.
being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is been flexible. I've been flexible this week. I've
Good,
Great
good,
that
been
good.
flexible for 3 weeks. um, yeah, so it's Easter weekend for everybody that
Mm,
doesn't know. So
hmm
kind of signals that spring is coming. And
mm,
I think, lesbians are always interested in a spring fling, right?
mhm.
A spring fling.
Yes.
Um, and you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong. You probably follow Auto Straddle, right, Araya?
I do. I do. Yeah. I occasionally check out Strato, absolutely.
Right. So they had posted something, I think it was today or yesterday, I don't even remember, about some very underrated queer TV shows and films. And I quickly like went through the list and I'm like, yep, never heard of this, never heard of this, never heard of this, all the way down, never heard of one thing. And then my friend sitting here last night and mentions the lake. And I'm like,
Mm,
why do you know about that? And she's been away for a couple months in LA. And so yeah, I think I'm like she was with the lesbians in the know, you know.
uh,
And so
mhm.
now I'm curious.
LA lesbian.
Feel like I gotta find this I don't know what it was. I think it was a series, but I feel like I have to find it now because there was some undercurrent, some buzz going on. Have
Mhm.
you heard of it?
Yeah, I have heard of it. Like, I haven't seen it, but it is one that I've definitely heard of.
Okay, good. All right. So I figured you would.
I'm looking at this list right now.
Oh, are you? That's so funny.
Yes.
You probably heard of all of them. And I because I seriously went through and just went, nope, 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 nope.
There are a couple pure I'm not familiar with. A lot of these I'm familiar with. Like I haven't seen Class of '07. I love Dare Me. Um yeah, there's a yeah, Horror of Dolores Ranch really like. I don't know if This Way Up should be on this list.
I agree with you on that. I agree that one I did see. I did see this way
Uh,
up. Yeah.
yeah, not because it's not good, but because the queerness in it is not it's barely it's not really there. Like it
Yeah.
feels like the queer storyline is like dropped basically, like
Yeah.
pretty early on. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're right. It is good. It is good.
yeah,
For me, anything with Sharon Horgan, I love, and Aisling B.
love shit. Bad Sisters, great.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what I first discovered her in Catastrophe over here,
Mm-hmm.
and that I was all in. And then I realized how many things she's in, and I was just blown away. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
she's
oh my
great.
God, I could literally have a Sharon Horgan festival. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love her.
100%.
Yeah,
How is it I have not heard of those two? Oh my God. Or all of these that you're talking about.
Sharon
Yeah.
Horgan.
I mean, to me, it is a sign of like there's so much more queer women representation on TV, which is awesome.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need you.
definitely.
Tell us.
There,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
there is. Like your cats are all
I
over
know,
you. My cat is like right there.
I know. Yes, I have a cat on me. This is my cat Cora.
Oh, hey,
Love those
Cora.
colors. Yeah,
Yeah, she's she's
that's
she's a
Molly.
sweetie.
She just puked 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, that's
She
so
just lifted
cute.
her head up from where she was sleeping and went, bleh. I was
I,
like, oh my
She's in her
God.
little cat bed.
I
She doesn't do that thing that cats do. She doesn't do that. It's just like she
have
lifts her head up and she just goes bleh, like it's
no
Oh
warning.
no.
morning. I was like, what just happened? I was sitting right next to her. I'm like, whoa. So
I
yeah,
have a new office cat,
I
Fiona.
know.
Hmm.
Fiona.
Finally got her in the office. Yeah, she's not leaving. She's been in heat the last couple of days, and I didn't know what that was or what was going on with her. And then I was told she was in heat. I'm like, oh, I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it.
And
We have to get her.
you have to wait for that to pass before you
Yeah,
you're in to get her fixed. Like we went through
right.
with her one summer. I thought I was gonna scratch my eyeballs out. The
Felt
noises
bad
that
for her.
oh
Yes.
my
Oh my
God, the
God.
noises she was making, and it was all day, every day
Mm.
into the night. I couldn't even deal with it. And I felt so bad because it was in summer and it was like so hot out and everything. And we were
Yeah,
all, oh my God, when is this gonna be over? It was horrible.
I
But yeah,
felt bad for her.
yeah.
So I saw that KJ got you a surprise gift to go see Diana the musical.
Yes,
At
my
dinner.
wife took me to a dinner theater production of Diana the Musical, which is hilariously the first regional production of the show in the US after it ended its run on Broadway.
How was that?
Yeah.
I loved it. Like I genuinely love Diana the Musical. I think the music is great. You know, it's such like it's such like a fascinating story and I've never been to dinner theater before. So I was just absolutely charmed by like, the waiters are all the actors in the show and like
Oh,
so we'd be like, "Oh my God, you're Camilla." Like it was just it was so fun and the production was really really fun. Like it's the theater was called Way Off Broadway Theater. Like they know who they are.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um
They're owning it.
and yes, but like the four leads were like absolutely amazing. And like I swear the whole budget of the show went into Diana's wig. Like it was an amazing wig. It like she
Oh,
transformed.
Oh
Um,
my
so we
God.
had we had a really good time, and I got like very emotional at the end. I was like, "Oh my God, I miss Diana."
Oh
aw.
yeah. Oh yeah. We go through that goes through ebbs and flows over here. You know,
Yeah.
like
Oh
right
yeah,
now, of course, everybody is because of Kate. They're all like, "Oh,
yeah,
Poor William. His father's got cancer. His wife's got cancer. His mother was killed in an
yes,
accident. He's estranged from his brother."
yes,
So they're all like, "Poor
right,
William, poor." I'm like, "Oh my God."
yeah,
I was just reading that. I just heard about it,
Yeah,
about Kate.
hmm
of course, Jade. Of course, you're a little.
What did it happen 20 years ago? No, no, 20 years ago.
She's like 10 days after the newest news cycle. Yeah, yeah.
mm.
I
It's
never
always
met anybody who's so on the back foot ever.
You know what? In a way, I totally respect that because I think getting swept up in a big news story as it's happening, like when during like where's Kate Middleton during all that, people were just like
yeah,
wildly speculating, going
Oh yeah,
way
the
off. People were
conspiracies
spreading
were so big.
right,
conspiracy
true,
theories.
true.
Yeah, and so like by the time it's actually revealed what's happened, it's like, well, that was kind of all for nothing, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And then you want to say, like, I hope every one of you, like, sleazy, stupid, reporters and conspiracy, the people that
Right?
follow them and everything, like, sit down. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. They're
Hmm.
just a family
I
that's
know.
Yeah.
trying
I mean,
to,
look,
you
it's
know,
it's not like the Royal Palace is faultless in this. The way they just like threw Kate Middleton under the bus during the whole Photoshop debacle was absurd.
yeah, that was definitely like all on Kensington comms. Like everybody says that over here. Like, first of
Yeah.
all, they should have headed this off at the pass. Second of all, the stupid picture was ridiculous. The video from TMZ, not even her.
Yeah.
It was like too much bad stuff
Wild.
happening. And I felt like they were just like a deer in headlights. And they just were
Totally.
going like, let's just step back a little bit, not do anything, see what
Totally.
happens, see if it's and it was just snowballing and snowballing. It was absolutely
Absolutely.
ridiculous. And now everybody's all respectful, and it's like, why does it have to take something like that to get people to be respectful? Like just
Yeah.
be like that all the time.
Mhm.
Like, they weren't
Yeah.
they were literally
Right.
not hounding Charles because he was forthright and said what was going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
It's
that was
hard. I mean,
on Kensington.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard. Like, want to have empathy for Kate Middleton. Like, she's a person. Like, it's hard. And, having a cancer diagnosis, like, that's rough. You don't really you want to kind of talk about that on your own time, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
it's hard when you're such a public figure.
It's
And,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
the apparatus around you is being so intentionally opaque and cagey about it and kind of stoking the flames.
Yeah.
Right.
Brutal.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
I kept picturing Camilla just sitting back going, playing the long game here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Play the long game, coming out on top.
Yeah,
I'll
she's
handle all of this.
time,
I
biding her time.
Hmm.
I will be in the public eye. I will show up at events. I will continue with my
Right.
my monarchy duties as your queen. And you
As
know,
your
like,
queen.
I just
The
like thought to
Queen
myself,
Consort, I believe is her
queen
title.
consort, but they don't say that. They don't
Yes.
say the C word over here. They just say
Yeah.
King Charles and Queen Camilla. But the
Hmm.
thing is, she fucking played the long game. And
Yeah.
she hung in there as the mistress. Like, honest to
Wait,
God, she's just
very patient. She's
very
very
Truly,
patient,
truly.
very patient. And it's funny, like you got people over here that everything is very divided, just like anywhere else. So there's people that still hold it against her and say that he never loved Diana and he messed with her
Mm.
mind and all that other stuff. And then you have the other people that just you know think the world of her for hanging in there,
Hmm.
for just hanging in there. So it's
Mm.
it's a mixed bag over here. I just stay out of it. I just stay out of it.
Hmm.
Like I literally don't care. I really don't. But
Totally.
yeah.
So we were hoping that maybe you had some spring suggestions for some flicks for us for the
Yes.
springtime. I did enjoy your lesbian tearjerker list that you had on your Instagram.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you. I love a good lesbian tearjerker. Um
go
I
ahead.
think
Something really
yeah.
quick. Go ahead.
I think that I mean there is a lesbian movie called Spring. It's an English movie about a girl who has her mom moves her and the family out of her hometown during her last year of high school, and like meets a girl, and it's like a nice little spring fling romance, which is great. Summerland, despite the title, Summerland is actually a spring movie. Um Great movie, one of my personal faves. Uh, Highly recommend. I think it's a spring movie. Is it a fall movie? It's definitely. I don't know. I'll have to look that up again. There's like the prom. The prom is a spring movie. Takes place during the prom. That's a movie that I think gets a little disproportionate hate. I like it. Um, Do Revenge. I don't know if you've seen Do Revenge. It's kind of like a high school take on Strangers on a Train.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's two unlikely high school girls who become friends over their mutual intent to help each other get revenge on the people who wronged them. That happens during spring. Um,
Okay.
those are a few off the top of my head.
Nice. Do you get into short films, or are you just all about
I
like
do. I need to get into more short films. I think to me, short films, like there's so many short films. Like
yeah, that is an
I
over
really need to get through them.
yeah, because I just like um friends with Michelle Bonilla, and she has a
Mm-hmm.
short film that she wrote, directed, starred in, everything.
Mm,
And I was just looking at her Instagram, and her
mm-hmm.
little short is called I Just Wish You Told Me. And it's about
Mm-hmm.
a lesbian couple, and one of them passes away, and the other
Mm,
finds out about a whole bunch of things that went on that she never knew about after
right.
the fact. Um, and it's got Dana Goldberg in it as the dead ex.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
But when you say short, how short is that? How short is like where do you find the short films and how
that's
short is a
just
short?
it. Like they are hard to find. Like if they're not put out like on YouTube or whatever. But I think because this is still in the festival rounds, and
Mhm.
but I mean
Right.
it's just winning award after award after award. So I think once festival season is over with, that's when you literally will be able to find them. Like then they'll say like it's on, Vimeo or Free Play or Amazon or whatever. Amazon
Right.
usually does have shorts, which is pretty good because some of the
Yeah.
stores just don't do that.
Yeah, Max has a few shorts. I know I'm trying to do on my TikTok and I guess my Instagram. I'm trying to prepare a month where I do talk about like one lesbian short film every day. It's just to me
Oh,
it's just like, how do I curate the best ones? Like because I want to do some classics like, Cheryl Dunye short films, but I also want to do some like really, really new ones. And so that it's hard to curate because, there's so many really great short films and a lot of short films like a lot of the ones on YouTube are like very similar to each other and I don't mean that in a derogatory way but like they're just there are a lot of variations on like similar concepts so got to
Definitely.
find the right balance.
I always like commend a person, for undertaking a short film because
Yeah,
it's almost like you have to take a feature film, cram it into 20 or 25 minutes. If that's lengthy for a short,
right,
but you've
oh
got to
yeah.
have all the components in it, and
Mhm.
it's got to be good. There's got to be some quality to it, and you have a micro budget to get it all done, literally like usually two
right,
days worth, and you're relying on free help, free labor, free, people donating their skills and their time and everything if they really believe in it. So it's
Yeah.
right.
such an undertaking. It's so much stress. But yeah, like you've got to love it. Like you've got to love what you're doing. And I think the best way to find these little nuggets, these little gems, is looking at the websites for well-known queer film festivals because they
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
always have shorts. I mean, yeah, they're going to have features, but they always have shorts too. So it's a good way,
Right.
like if you're looking for some titles, at least you know where to look.
Yeah.
This is it. This right now it's LGBT and short film festival season. I know my friend sat here
Yes.
with her head like this yesterday because she's got films out there and they're just not hitting. So yeah,
Right.
it's tough.
Yeah, I no, that's good. That's good. I should try to see. I mean, March, there's only 2 more days of March, so maybe for April I can try to do my short films, spotlighting short films.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
those
actually,
are
I'm
like people
thinking
who make short films, those are the people who are really in the trenches.
yeah, oh, definitely. But the best part about a short film is you can watch it over coffee, and like get
Yeah,
on with your day. It's like
totally.
it's so it's easy to commit to something like that. Sounds like a big undertaking, but like when you realize you
Yes.
can watch one in the middle of breakfast,
Yes.
done.
100%.
But yeah, some of uh the the spring fling ones, like you can I always harken back to the old good ones, you know what I mean? Like Two Girls
Hmm.
always. You know what I mean? I don't know that that was in spring, but it's one of those flingy fun
Right.
movies. I still like
Yeah.
watching them.
Hmm.
I can't believe this is Laurel Holloman and Ari Nicole Parker. Like they were so little. They were so young.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, Incredible True
Oh,
Adventures. Oh, absolutely.
so funny.
I love Butch Laurel Halloran.
Yes. Yes. Yep. So good. So good. But yeah, there's it's that feeling in the air, like the rain is stopping, the sun's coming out, it's not as
Yes.
chilly, like the it's
100%. Yes.
yeah,
That is a great spring film. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know what I just saw? I
Yeah.
found it because it was just, I think it was on Netflix. It was the older couple, and it was Olympia Dukakis, and I don't know who the woman that played her wife. And they,
Yes. Cloudburst, right?
Cloudburst. They did
Cloudburst.
a
Yes,
play.
with Brenda Fricker.
Yeah, as that's who played the
Yeah.
wife. I think they went to Ireland, Scotland. She went home. They took a trip. She was getting
Yeah,
Alzheimer's and
they're trying to get to Canada to get married. Yes.
oh, okay. You know what? I kind of got into it in the middle. So I did, of
Mm-hmm.
course, right? And then I didn't get to see it. I didn't go back and see the beginning part of it. I just watched it through and that's what it was. They were trying to get married before she wasn't sick. She wasn't terminally ill, right? It was a memory. Was it dementia? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was, yes. I think it was like Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
That was
they were trying to get married.
yeah.
Yeah.
before you
I just thought of it because seeing a butch Olympia Dukakis was kind of like she was with the
Yeah.
cowboy boots and the cowboy hat and the truck.
Yeah.
But it was sad in a way. It was a little bit sad, but it was sweet. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
together.
Like Hannah Free. Do you remember Hannah Free?
Yes, I do remember Hannah Free. Who's that? Sharon Glass?
Aaron Glass.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
by Wendy Phillips, I think, the director
Hmm.
of that. Like and that another one that was just really, really well done. And for its time, it was really topical because I think it was
Hmm.
before gay marriage was legal, and a lot of the subject matter had to do with not being able to see your partner when they're in
Right.
the hospital, So yeah, that was another
Name of it, Hannah. I'm going to look for
Hannah
that.
Hannah Free.
Hannah Free.
I think I was on my own little lesbian tearjerker mission watching the movies because then I saw the one, and I never remember the titles. I saw the one with where the wife was the police woman and she was married. She married her wanted to marry her girlfriend and she was much younger and then she got sick and she wanted her to get her pension.
Oh, Freeheld.
Freeheld.
No,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah,
I
Yes, with
saw
Julianne Moore and Elliot Page.
yes.
Yes. Okay. See, I never remember the names or the people in them, but I kind of remember the movies.
I love
And
it.
then I can't-
It's a game I love to play. I love testing my like, do I remember what this lesbian movie is?
Oh yeah, she's
and you're
perfect.
good.
Yeah,
Get
she's,
them like with a couple of clues.
yeah, she's perfect for that. I do remember seeing that. That
A
was,
great party
was
trick.
really good. That was super good. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's some winners out there. Like seriously, like I think the thing of it is, like I don't know about you guys, but like in the winter, it feels like you're hunkered down. You're in. Well, not you, JD, because you're in Florida, but
Yeah.
everybody else that
Yeah.
experiences winter and cold weather. Like you're under a blanket, you're freezing, and you're just
Yeah.
looking for like queer content. Especially on the weekends where you don't want to do anything, you don't want to go anywhere, you just want to stay in the warm house, bundled up, and watch
Right.
queer flicks. Like that's
Oh yes.
winter right there. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing, man.
That's why we need you to tell us, Aria, on what it is while we're hunkered down during the winter time and then into the spring.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's
Yes,
it.
now it's time for happier, lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I mean, 'cause normally in the wintertime, lesbians are like, give me some happy lesbian holiday movies. There is no season in which queer women don't request. I just want a happy movie, which is fair. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's challenging though, isn't it? That's challenging to find.
Yeah. Have you?
I think it's less challenging. I think it depends. I think that there's just not as many. I don't know. I don't think there is as many like mainstream mid-size budget like lesbian romantic comedies or something like that. Like you're not going to see like, my wife really loves showing me like all these rom-coms she watched growing up, they're all straight. But we've watched so many rom-coms, and there really just isn't like, there aren't movies like, Notting Hill or like
Yeah.
You've Got Mail or something like that for lesbians. It's really like Imagine Me and You,
Mhm.
and that's kind of it in terms of like that style of like rom-com that
100%.
queer
Yeah.
women are craving. So to me, that's like a genre that I think should have some more cultivation for queer women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I think um, Tello films and Kristen Baker,
Yes.
like I
Yeah.
know she's kind of focused on her annual holiday
For
movie.
annual holiday movie. Yes.
When you
But
go
yes,
back, there's
100%. I absolutely appreciate Tell. I do think like there could be non-holiday movies
no,
too.
definitely. But that's what I mean. Like if you go back to some of their the previous content that they've had, like
Yeah.
Maybell was good.
Mm. Yeah,
With
yeah, yeah.
Bridget McManus. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so they're there. I think they're harder to find too because they're so independent, you know,
Hmm.
Right.
really, really tough. Like they're so independent. But I have to say, like the few that we watched a couple this winter weren't awful. They weren't fantastic, but they weren't, awful. So
Hmm.
it feels like a quest when you're looking for something a little bit lighthearted with Lesbian.
Right.
Like it's a tough,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a tough
Have
one to fulfill.
you seen the documentary A Secret Love about the older women that
Mm.
we
Hmm.
softball players?
Yeah,
I saw, that was part of my tearjerker series. That was the third one
Yes.
that
yeah.
Yeah, tell me more
4
about the
years ago.
tearjerker. So you've done like a tearjerkers marathon, JD?
Yeah, I didn't actually think of it that way, but then when I saw your post, I'm like, I was kind of doing that too, but I didn't think about it that they were all sad tearjerker movies. And even that one, like I guess the sad part about it was that they were older and they were going into the retirement community
Yeah.
together. And it was just kind of
Yeah.
sad. What do
So
they,
so yeah, so Secret Love.
oh, Secret
What
Love,
else?
Freehold, um,
Yeah,
Freeheld, yes.
yeah,
Freeheld, the other one, Cloudburst.
Cloudburst, yes.
And
yeah.
the other one was the one that was in French about the two women that one was she had a stroke and the kids didn't know that they were
Uh
together. Anna,
yes, two of us.
two of us, yeah,
Yes.
that one.
Great. That's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah, that was
It was in French with subtitles.
Yes.
Okay.
French, right?
Yes.
It was French, yeah,
It's a French movie, yeah.
yeah.
Denise, you're like, JD, you watch a movie
Yeah,
with subtitles?
yeah. Threw me a little bit. Wow.
I did watch the movie with subtitles. I wanted to see it, and I knew that I knew it had subtitles, but I thought maybe there might have been a version of it without that. Like maybe they did a version but it wasn't the whole. You couldn't find one. It was all subtitles, and like an American version. And then the other one that I saw was it wasn't really a well, kind of Carol, which is like iconic, right? With
Of course, love
Wow,
Carol.
we watch that every Christmas. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Great. It's a great Christmas movie. Maybe my favorite Christmas movie right now.
Yeah.
But they
I
don't
think
end up
it's
together, if I remember right. At the end, they don't end up together. I
They
don't
they
think.
do. They do. They do. It's not they don't like kiss at the end, but like the end is about Therese, like she actively makes the choice to be with Carol rather than like she tacitly accepts Carol Carol's offer. Like it's really Therese making the decision, and so now they're able to like be together.
Oh, okay.
Is that
Okay.
enough
Yeah.
closure? Is that enough closure for you, Jay?
That's good enough. That's more
No,
closure.
that's fair. It is something that I feel like I do have to explain of like I
Right?
get it doesn't look like they're together, but it really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of hoped that was the story, that was it. I was caught up in this whole thing, this other series. It was a docu-series called Escaping Twin Flames, or there was another one called, and it's about a cult. that was
Yes.
it's a real cult to the Twin Flames University or Twin Flames Universe, and it was people that were looking for their twin flame, their soul. It was like it's beyond a soulmate, the twin flame. It's like the
Yeah.
your other half of your soul. But they started to their one couple that they had were a lesbian couple that were both with men. They both had children. They were married, and then they always wanted to be together. And they decided that they wanted to just leave their partners, the men they were with, and be together finally, and just
Mm.
be who they really are. And they joined this Twin Flames universe because they felt so accepted there. And then the people that were kind of running it were convincing the women that some of them had masculine energy and that they needed to transition. It was real, and really ultimately what they were trying to do was make a heterosexual version of the couples, because they had to have a
Mm.
female energy and a male divine female and divine
Oh,
male. So they were
interesting.
and women were so brainwashed or whatever, because they were in this cult, that some of them actually did transition, and they had
Oh,
experts
wow.
saying it's possible that people really found their true selves, but they weren't really talking like
Right.
people who would have been transgender. They were kind of, convinced that this is who they were. So the one lesbian couple, they wanted her to change her name, and they were really coercing them, and they were all in. They were making their living selling classes and being coaches. So they were going to
Oh
lose
gosh.
everything by leaving. And they wanted the one
Wow.
woman, Anne, they wanted her to be Dan. And she's like, I
Ugh.
don't do that. I'm not going to change, So when they quit,
Right.
they lost everything. They blocked them. They took away all of the money they were making. They just closed them out. They had no more. They didn't have an income anymore, because they totally were all in. And it's really like a cult, and it's still going on. But it was just interesting that they were running out of men in the group, so that's why they were doing that. And the women
Yeah.
were
Wow.
Terrible.
that's it's a 3-part series, if you feel like you want to, 3 or 4.
Yes, I've heard of it. Yeah.
I
There's
made
one
it, I
on,
made it through Mormon No More. Have you
yeah.
have you seen that
Hmm.
one? That
That's
was
a good one. Yeah.
that was really good. Like it took me a little bit to warm up to it because I was just like, I don't like these people. Like I don't like these subjects, but after a while, yeah, probably about episode 3, I was just like, whoa, okay, hold on here. This is getting good. It was
Yeah, yeah,
when they started talking to other people and their experiences, you know, I was blown away. I was really, really blown away by how each story was different, because I think they have a podcast now, because that was
oh,
some of the docu was them recording and talking to other people, and some were just other people sharing their stories with the documentary filmmaker. But
Hmm.
it was good. Like I definitely was sucked into that one. Yeah, it was pretty good. Just to they I mean they're like you said, there's this element of bravery, leaving their husbands,
mhm,
blending their family together, being together,
yes,
and then the one husband he just would not come around,
yeah,
whereas the other husband was really good about it, and it's just, I like that they focus pretty much on every different angle, like how it
yeah,
affected the kids, how it affected those two as a couple. And they talked to the husbands as well, It was
yeah,
really, yeah, they really did show it from every possible angle and get everybody's input on it. It was totally interesting. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
it just shows you like this whole slice of life that there, like, I think for me, sometimes I feel like if I don't have a connection to something, it's not going to suck me in, but this really did. And no connection at all, but I think it's eye-opening. It's just really, it's deep, it's eye-opening, like how committed these people were to their church, their Mormonism, and their faith. you know, like it was just like, wow, you know, like holy crap. But then you go, well, that's the power of love, baby. That's the power
Yeah.
of love, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's a good amount of content out there, you know. I think what we need is a good softball movie for lesbian,
Yes. No, I
right?
agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think I I don't care about sports, and unfortunately that does include sports that lesbians should like. But I do think like a lesbian sports movie, where
Yeah.
is it? I don't see it.
Well, you know, we had Bend It Like Beckham, but that wasn't really,
That wasn't lesbian.
it
I get
wasn't
it. People
lesbian,
like
right?
I get it.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was the spirit
That's
there.
also
Yeah.
a movie. Okay, hold on. I want to clear something up with Better Like Beckham. That is a movie where people say, oh, in the original script, they were supposed to get together. That is something that I've only read secondhand. That is
I
something that
never
the
heard that.
director has never confirmed herself. So I
Right.
don't like I don't like that that is a myth being spread.
Right.
Mhm.
I 100% agree. To me, it's like, why can't we just admit that we called it a lesbian movie
Right.
because there was a football backdrop. You know, there was soccer,
100%.
soccer backdrop,
Yeah,
and lesbians
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
see it. You know, we just went
totally.
to see it, but that was it. That was the extent of it. But yeah,
100%.
that I mean, that was the last, you know, like sporty movie that was out there. Like we definitely need, you know, a lesbian sporty movie. That's my
There
thought.
is there is this movie Breaking the Ice that I haven't seen. It's like a lesbian hockey romance movie.
Mm.
Um that I think is like great. I haven't seen it yet, but I know there's that. I think I've seen some web series about like a rugby team. I think like a lesbian rugby movie is like way overdue.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah,
like stuff like that.
yeah. I
I
would think
I guess the sports movies are like Battle of the Sexes.
right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can count personal best, right?
I
That's
knew
an
you
old
were going to say that. No, you can't count
and
it, and you
then
can't count.
I mean
But
it
listen,
is. Well, it kind of. Okay, no, no. Let me, no, Denise, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
I was going to say,
what? Oh,
and you can't count a Billie Jean King documentary or a Martina Navratilova documentary.
or
Talking about
Diana
Mhm.
Nyad.
a script. No,
She's gonna kill me if I mention Diana Nyad
it's
one
just
more
like
time.
she's on this infinite loop. It's like you can't knock her out of it. It's
I
just, it
found
keeps
it
going and
inspiring.
going.
Look, I cried at Naiad too, all right? And even as I was crying, I was like, why the hell am I crying at this?
Like we know the story. We
I
watched it
was,
unfold in real time in real life.
To
I
be
know,
fair,
I was,
I did not. I was not paying attention to the story in real time when it happening. So there for me, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like, I don't remember
oh,
this.
okay. I
Oh
found it
no.
inspiring from a totally different angle. I turned 60 last year and I just loved her outlook on it's not game over, because I was thinking that, like, it really messed with my head for a year until it was worse when I turned 61. So like, now I wish I was 60. So yeah, so it's like I like it from that perspective, that she did something she couldn't do at 28, that's so impossible
Mhm.
to do anyway, and she did it at 65. Anyway, I'll stop talking about it now, Denise.
No. But okay, but you also don't like personal best, Denise?
No. No, I never liked it because it didn't have anything to do with the movie or anything like that. I didn't like the girl that was in it. I can't
Hmm.
think of her name all of a sudden. I just blanked. Who's
Oh,
Oh, like
the
as a
Mariel
person?
Hemingway. Mariel Hemingway.
Yes. I just never liked her. Never,
Yeah.
Like
you know.
as an actor?
Yeah, like yeah,
Oh, okay.
I didn't, you know, like it's like it was just like a I don't know, I just remember like every time it was on HBO, it's like I sat through it once and then
Mm.
every time it was on, I was like,
For those listening at home who don't know, Personal Best is like a 1982 track movie.
Yeah.
It was a really big deal. It was like one of the first
Yeah.
mainstream
Oh yeah.
movies that
It
really
was,
had that represented like bisexuality in like the US.
oh,
Um
it
and
was,
there was like a lesbian romance, but like she goes back to a guy at the end, but
yeah.
it was like, whoa, what's happening here? This
Yeah.
is a lot to handle.
Yeah. It was one of
Yeah.
those movies that I had to wait for my parents to leave to be able to watch it. Like that was the whole thing. But yeah, it was early. Yeah, it was like way before anything, anything
Yeah,
mainstream. Like wouldn't you call that
Oh,
mainstream? Like that was
yeah,
yeah, that was
mainstream.
mainstream. Yeah.
I
So yeah,
saw it in
that's
a
the
movie
first.
theater.
Yeah. You
Actually
saw
saw
You
it
saw what?
Personal Best.
in a theater. You saw it
Mm,
in the theater.
Yeah, I saw it in the movie theater on the big screen. And I was on a triple date. It was my sister and her boyfriend, and then this girl I was matching up with this guy, and I had no idea what that movie was about. And it was just like, oh, I didn't realize, that not that they cared, but it was just we didn't expect it. You didn't expect that in 1982 to be
Right.
that on the big
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. But the funny thing is like there were movies that I went to see that had more of a profound effect on me figuring out my sexuality than watching
yeah.
something like Personal Best. Like I
Mm,
wasn't
mhm.
making the connection watching that. I was making the connection watching Little Darlings and going, look at Christy McNichol. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
But like,
true.
yeah,
That's
it's
true.
it's it's weird. Yeah, isn't that weird? Like you would think it would
I mean,
be
no, it's not liking Christy McNichol is very gay.
right. Right. That's what I'm saying though. Like those were the moments that I remember like feeling things as opposed to watching two women kiss, in a locker room after a track meet. Like that
Yeah.
did
Hmm.
nothing for me, but watching, Christy McNichol on film on the big screen, was like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
all right, this works. Yeah. Like it's strange. I guess that's where you start learning your discerning tastes about what you like and what you don't like
Hmm.
in the
Right?
same
Yeah.
sex, right? So did not like Mariel Hemingway, did like Christy McNichol.
See, there.
Yeah.
I think why it's so important that about what you do, Aria, in letting people know. Am I saying your name right, Aria? Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Arya, that's right.
Uh, um, I think it's so important what you do because there is a lot out there. So first of all, we can't always find it. And then you really break it down for people when you explain and you review the movies because that way people kind of know what they're getting. And if there are younger people or people who are not even younger people who are like questioning their sexuality or they
Yeah.
want to know what should I watch, like it's really great that you're there with your amazing content and how you have it all organized, how you've told us how you have it categorized and organized. It's really a huge help to people who are looking for that content.
I
So
totally
thank
think like people have to follow you on TikTok, like, like that's and everybody
Hey,
I'm
I would love
sure,
that.
like I think like it's TikTok is a phenomenon. You know what I mean? It
yeah.
is just a phenomenon. It's a literal resource, for people,
Hmm.
like I say it all the time. Like I sometimes I can't believe the stuff that people find or that they watch. Like
Mhm.
grown ass adults like learning how to pick a avocado blows my fucking mind. Like it blows my fucking
Yeah.
mind. But I think we could use it for good. Like
Yeah,
what you're doing is like using it for good. It's not just bullshit content. Like I think
absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
that's the important thing and the time and effort that go into it. Like the older I get, my patience level is like in the negative. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
it's not even at zero. It's like
totally.
somebody sends me a video that's longer than 15, 20 seconds. I'm like, fuck, I can't. I'm not like I can't. even if it's funny, like I can't. I don't even have that kind of patience anymore. But like it's I think that it's such a part of our culture now, for people to
Right.
learn things from like 30-second, 1 minute videos and these
Right.
like quick reviews and it's an honest to goodness resource. It's
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, we're in this era. When I think back of how difficult it was to find a queer movie at Blockbuster, you know what I mean? Like back
Oh
then.
yeah. 100%.
And now with all the different streaming platforms, you type in, you can just go to search and type something, queer or LGBT, and like boom, you have like a
Yeah.
whole menu. So like, and there's so many streamers now, like it's
Right.
honestly ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it's also great because you're not going to find these things in the theaters yet. You're not going to, you don't have to go to a video store and try and rent them. Like it's at your fingertips now. And that's like so important that, you're promoting, like everything's working in tandem now. Like we can watch you on TikTok and then we can literally pick up our remote and go through streamers and find the movies that you're talking about.
Yep.
Totally. That's the dream. That's the dream. I do. I recently saw videos of people being like, "Hey, lesbians, drop all of your recommendations in the comments." And I'm like, "All the work that I've done." And like, I have
Oh,
them all. Just go to my page.
Oh
ah.
my
Um,
God. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But like, okay, so you take something like that, for instance, that feels like it's literally just about engagement. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
100%.
It's
100%.
a whole different mindset than what you're doing, where
Right.
Yeah.
people like watch it, learn a little something, and then immediately can go either type it in their phone, save it, you know what I mean? But it's again, it's more like a lesbian workbook, activity book.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, like it's
100%.
perfect. It's perfect. What
Yeah,
you do is incredible.
it really is. I mean, you're like one of the only people doing this, I think, right? I don't see
I don't
anyone,
see anybody else.
and
Yeah.
to the extent that you're doing it is really, I'm really going to work hard to get the word out to get people, we need you and what you're doing. I think it's awesome.
Thank
100%.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it really is. It's an undertaking,
Yeah.
like your dedication to it is like nothing short of brilliant. You know,
Appreciate it.
I feel
Try.
like
Yep. Trying.
yeah, there's a huge interest there though. So I definitely think you're hitting the mark.
It's got to be super time consuming. I know it's got to be your passion. I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah. It is an yeah, I do feel like I need to devote more time for it. I need to devote more time for it because I'm trying to like watch more movies, watch more TV, watch more content, and it's like there's only so many hours, but I gotta try to devote more time to it.
Yeah.
Well, I know I probably ask you this each and every time because I always am really truly interested in this. When people have passion that they're working at and they have, other things they have to do in life like relationships. How does your wife feel about this passion? Does she share it? Does she watch these together? Or is she like, oh God,
Yeah.
another or another show?
She's very, very supportive. She loves it. Like, I think she also understands why I want to do it. I think she is just like not a movie person. So
Oh.
that's just difficult being like, hey babe, you want to watch a movie tonight? Do you want to watch a movie that neither of us have ever seen so you don't know if it's going to be worth watching?
Right.
Like that doesn't appeal to her as much. But she's a lot more willing to do that with TV shows. So that's something we can do. I could be like, can I watch this TV to like see if it's gay? Then like I just have to pick the right kinds. Like, I know my wife enough that like now I'm quite good at like picking out the TV shows and even the movies that I think she'd be amenable to watching.
Yeah.
That's
That's what we
Yeah.
do too. Yeah. See, my wife will watch anything if it's got a lesbian character in it,
Mm,
she's right
yes.
there. She's right there. She's all about like bringing
Good.
patriarchy and,
Love it.
I can't get Danny to sit through a movie. She's just will not sit still for 2 hours. It's like I have to have a cigarette. I have to stretch my legs. I'm going out on the patio. I'll be right back. And then I don't know, do I pause it or do I just
Yeah.
keep watching it? And then
Right.
usually it's never anything she enjoyed. If I don't pick good ones. I don't know why, but
Yeah, not many people want to go down the tearjerker road, all
They
week
should
long.
though. They're so good.
Yeah. But yeah, it
they
is,
are.
that's the funny thing is like, it's hard to, yeah, for me, it's like, if it's going to be the least bit sad, I'm like, oh God, like I have to really
I know.
gear up for it. Like I can't just like go, oh,
100%.
like I gotta be,
100%.
I gotta know it's going to be heavy. I gotta
My
know.
wife has to be absolutely in the right mood to watch a sad movie. I'm always like, I'm game to cry all the time. But KJ, she hasn't seen many of my favorite lesbian movies because I'm like, they're too sad. I know she's not going to be in the mood for them.
Yeah.
I
It's a tough
found
sell.
you. I found you with the reel about fried green tomatoes. That's how I
I
found
know,
you.
I know. I don't want to do it again. I want to be like, oh my gosh, babe, we gotta watch this movie, and then you're gonna do the same thing with fried green tomatoes. It's gonna be so fun. And she's like, no, that does not sound fun.
I hate you. I love you. At the end, I'm never gonna leave
Truly,
you. It's so funny. That was
truly, truly.
Sad movies are a tough sell. That's all I'm gonna say. They are a tough sell.
Has there been a movie recently that you've picked for your partners that they've liked?
Oh, not a gay one. Not a gay
yeah.
one.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
I don't. She never likes the movies I pick, and then she'll be like, next time and then she'll always let me pick again. Yeah, I don't.
I'm
That's a
good
great.
with TV shows. Like you said, I'm good with TV shows.
Yeah.
Like I can pick a good one. And it's really because like I'm home all day, and at a certain point when I turn off news, I am the one that's going through the streamers, like getting our algorithm on check. You know what I mean? On point. Like
Right.
this, like that, like this, add to list, add to list, add to list, like that kind of stuff. And the funny thing is like she despises my guilty pleasure stuff. Like
Oh,
Mm.
I'll be
just,
watching like The Family Stallone, and she'll come in and be like, "Oh my God,
oh,
what is this?" And she's like, is
will
that
she watch?
Rocky?
So
Is that Rocky? Like, yeah. He's got daughters. Yeah. And then she'll like kind of sit down for a minute and be like, huh. Oh yeah. Oh my God, his brother, wasn't he like a flash in the pan? And then all of a sudden she's in it. She's in it. I sucked her in. Can't not like it. but
That's funny.
but we do end up watching, like I was the one who found Heartstopper and Sex
Mm.
Education and like those kind of things. So yeah, like I can pull her into a Netflix series like that, like, but not movies. I'm not good with movies. Yeah.
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
And what drives her crazy? If I saw the movie already and I can't shut up. Like she's like, don't tell me what's gonna happen. I don't even want to watch it if you tell me what's happening. But sometimes
Or and it's
I
even
feel the need.
worse if you're like she's watching it and you're like this.
Right, because I don't think I'm not sure she's paying enough.
You're staring at her, waiting to see her reaction to something, and
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
she's burning into the side of her face.
And if I feel like she's not paying enough attention, I feel
Oh,
the
yeah.
need to explain what just happened. And she's like, I got it. I'm watching it right now. Don't say anything. Like, oh, you have to muzzle myself.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I'm kind of bad that way. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. We're pretty good about that. Neither one of us will talk like during a movie unless she'll just put her hand on my arm and be like, I have to pee. And I'll be like, pause. But that's it. Like we're not like chit-chatting through movies unless we pause it
Yeah.
if we have something to say. Like that's the
something
yeah,
important.
that's the rule, unspoken, but that
Have
is
either of you seen the latest theatrical release theatrical release movies, Drive Away Dolls or Love Lies Bleeding, that lesbian movies.
No, but
Oh,
we talked about it. We talked about it with Nick, JD.
yeah,
Mm,
we
Yeah,
did.
we talked
mm.
about Kristen Stewart's movie with our queer
That wasn't, yeah,
cinephile. Yeah. Have you seen it yet or no?
Yeah, I saw Love Lies Bleeding. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
yeah, you,
I think we'll be okay with that. Like
yeah.
I'm not it's not a priority right now, but it's there. Like
No, absolutely fair.
yeah, I will definitely see. I love Kristen Stewart.
What did you like about it, Aria? What did you like about that movie?
What I liked, what I liked about Love Lies, I mean, I think the performances are great, both Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien, and they have excellent chemistry together. And I really liked how, I mean, I really liked how grimy the film was. Like, I thought it had just like a very distinct, um, like such a distinct style, that I thought was really interesting because it's such a sensory experience where like you could practically smell the sweat on everyone. The sounds were so intense.
Yeah,
And there's some like body horror stuff which I don't really like, but I thought it worked well here. It was so surreal in a way that I wasn't expecting. And once the actual like, once the first body drops, the movie really gets going. That it's like really tense, and I loved how tense it was. I think a lot of people will compare it to Bound, which is another classic
yeah,
neo-noir thriller
yeah.
centering around a lesbian couple.
Yeah.
Um, and this was like a lot more surreal, a little more chaotic, but I thought it was like a pretty great movie theater experience.
That's
Does it have like a
uh,
Tarantino feel to it?
I don't know. I wouldn't say Tarantino. I don't think it's as brash as Tarantino.
Oh,
Um,
good.
it's
Okay.
certainly it's certainly violent. There's certainly blood, but I think it's more of like a like quiet intensity that builds up rather than like,
Constant.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, the constant stream of like of action that like a Tarantino movie is.
Okay, good.
yeah.
I can handle that then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they mentioned something like you don't almost mind like there's did he say there wasn't a lot of blood and gore or that you didn't mind it because it was suggested at times? Didn't he say something like that about that movie, Denise? Or am I confusing it with something?
Nick, when Nick and I were talking about it, I was worried about that, but now I feel like a little bit better because I thought it was going to be very Tarantino-ish. And
Yeah.
but
I mean,
no, if it's
there's
if it
like
if there's a build
mhm.
to it, I'm happy. Like I don't need it every other frame, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Yes, very much. There's one scene that is very, very graphic. Like a lingering shot on like on a body that is like, whoa, you just see everything. But it's definitely not like splashes of blood everywhere. It's not like a Sweeney Todd kind of thing.
Yeah. All right.
that's,
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. So we've got a lineup then. We've got a lineup.
Mhm.
That's
yeah,
cool.
check that
Yeah,
one
that's
out.
excellent. Yeah, I'm looking for like I can handle that, but I think and I will I'll put it out there like the way I felt after I saw A League of Their Own is the way I
Mm,
feel with like a lesbian movie. Like I want all the
totally.
you know what I mean? I want a little bit of sport, I want a little bit of
Mm,
humor. I want like some
yeah.
jockey happiness, if you will.
Mm,
Is the
absolutely.
best
Yeah,
way.
I think that's yeah. I think we're very overdue for like a lesbian sports comedy movie.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? When I had my old podcast, I opened it up to a lot of different people who wanted to do their own podcasts, and I would
Mm,
just edit them and get them up on my stream, and they had the built-in subscribers and all that cool stuff. And I had Claire Lydon, who is a British lesbian fiction author over here, and
ooh.
yeah, I'd followed her career for a long time, and I went to go see her you know, do a reading like somewhere and started talking to her and just said, "Hey, would you want to do a podcast?" And started off never having done a podcast, and she did it consistently and um fantastic. Like she took to it like a fish to water. Like it was insane how good she ended up being in the end. But she did it for like 5 years, and she does
Mm.
book series, like she'll do like um the same characters in winter, summer, spring, and fall, and like a different
Oh, that's
book
cool.
season kind of thing, right? So I never like I've really slacked as far as like keeping up with reading and everything, but she just did a lesbian soccer football because
Mm.
we're talking
Hmm.
British characters here, but
Of course.
yeah, a lesbian love story around football, and it just like between the
Mm.
success of England's women winning the ladies
Oh
world,
yeah.
the Lionesses they literally taken more viewers than the men's soccer because people want to watch women's sports, especially
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
There's no crybabies, there's no rolling around
Right,
acting
right.
like there was a foul and trying to draw people into
Yeah.
penalties, and it's no showboating, it's literally the sport. And
Hmm.
so I think that there was she just like heard the call and wrote the book. Like it was just like instant.
Dang,
And
nice.
yeah, I'm like, why can't filmmakers think like that? You know what I mean? Come on,
Yeah,
give us something.
I know. I think it's yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the ins and outs of filmmaking, but I think there's so much more risk aversion
Yeah,
specifically in terms of like these mid-budget movies
yeah,
where there's a lot of focus on like really, really small budget films where you can be a little more experimental and really, really big budget films where like everything's riding on it. But this is what people are saying with like the death of the rom-com. Rom-coms are so prolific in the 90s and early 2000s, and
yeah,
now there's like maybe one a year that
yeah.
people can get
That hit
excited about, and
right.
that's really where a lot of these kinds of movies live.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they
But
never want to take chances, the people putting the money into it. Like there's so many remakes. Like how many times are they going to remake a movie? Did they
reboots are
just remake another movie that was just in The Color Purple? Wasn't crazy about it. The new one, I like the first one better,
Hmm.
but another one was this other movie that was just a remake again, and I'm like, why don't they ever give new stories a chance, like new
yeah. You didn't
scripts?
even know. I was
I
so
mean,
so scared to watch the Amazon series A League of Their Own
Yeah,
mhm,
because I loved the movie so much. It's just one of those movies that will never not be in
right.
the top five. You know what I mean? Ever. So I was really, really scared because when you love a movie so much and they're like, you hear there's a reboot and you're like, fuck, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
right, right,
But I
right.
was 100% into that. I was so gutted when
Hmm.
they didn't get a second season. I was so gutted. The cast was fantastic. The writing was fantastic. Everybody in it was great, and every storyline was perfect. And I was really,
Right.
really, really
Yeah,
gutted.
League of Their Own was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
that
I sometimes I sometimes think in terms of like why are there so many remakes?
Yeah,
In a way, like I can't really blame people. Like people like they want to spend money on things that they think are more sure bets, and that's
right,
like really hard. It's
right.
also hard to get audiences invested in new things because a new thing will come out and nobody will watch it. And then, executives will be like, people didn't like the new thing. I don't know. Like I think it's a cycle, it's a self-perpetuating cycle. And I also think audiences like there are plenty of ways to find new things that aren't just going to a movie theater. I think that's part of why I try to talk a lot
Mhm.
about movies and TV shows that aren't on Netflix or aren't in a movie theater. Um, yeah, I think it's a weird cycle of like we want new things. Okay, here's a new thing. Well, I'm not
yeah,
gonna watch the new thing because I don't know what this new thing is.
Right,
right, right.
exactly, right, right. That's
I'm
true.
noticing like a trend in um um a lot of things that are being filmed now that are taking place like in the movies or the TV shows in the 70s and 80s. Like I'm dying to watch
Hmm.
Palm Royale on Apple. Um, and there's
Mm,
another one with Patricia Arquette, I think, that looks it takes place in the 70s.
Mhm.
Um, on Apple. Yeah, and it seems like the last couple of things that I have binged, it feels like they're, people are becoming obsessed with, with the look and the feel and the stylization of the 70s and 80s, and it's like,
Right.
okay, but you better fucking nail it because we were there.
Right,
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. So it's so strange. Yeah, it's so strange. There's not a lot of movies that are current right now. But
We were there.
Yeah, I think, and like Drive Away Dolls was also released last month, and that takes place, I think, in 99 or something. Love Lies Bleeding takes place in like 89. There are a lot more recent like new movies taking place that are period pieces, but more recent period pieces.
Right.
What
Right.
Bummers, like that one seemed like it was perhaps again, in the 80s maybe. Like it didn't feel extremely current. So yeah, it's like, and that was good, man. I love that chick that's in The Bear. All of a sudden, like I just forgot. The one that just won the Academy Award and the Golden Globes and all that. Ibri.
What
The girl that's in
one more
The Bear.
time? Oh, Io Debris.
Yeah, right. So she was in that, right? She was in Bummer. Is that what it's called? Bummers?
Bottoms?
Bottoms. That was it. Bottoms.
Yeah.
Bummers.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
She was in Bummers.
She was in Bummers?
I'm like, I haven't heard of that.
Bottoms. That was it.
Yeah, Bottoms.
But
Rachel
didn't that have
Sennett.
that 80s feel to it? That had the little bit of a,
Yeah, I think that's a movie that was like in a way it was kind of like a parody to me of like 80s, 90s, early 2000s high school movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it very much had like classic archetypal images of 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Even though it was clearly set today.
Yes.
Well, sort of. It was clearly set, but there are a lot of gag jokes about like how he's at a phone booth reading the phone book or something. Stuff like that.
Yeah. That was unexpectedly funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect putting that on. I had heard nothing about it, and just saw it and thought, oh, this feels like but I'm a cheerleader. It has that feel to it. And we that was one of my picks that was actually a winner. Like we both ended up liking it.
That's a good feeling.
Amazing.
Yeah, I did good. All right, well, listen, this has been fun. We've talked about a lot of different movies. I think everybody can find something to watch this.
Yes, 100%. That's the goal.
Big long Easter weekend, and then my God, next time we have you back, we talking about summer films.
Yes.
Almost. I mean, yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Thank you for
so many. There are so many summer films.
Yeah, start making a list.
I'll start making the list.
Excellent.
Thank you, and thank you for what you do. So necessary.
Of course.
Oh,
of course. Thank you.
Thank
you both for what you do. Absolutely. Like
we need
highlighting other queer people. It's great.
Yeah, we need like everybody needs to support one another. But I think, like I said, if you're out there and you're scrolling TikTok, you've got to look up. You're Critical Lesbian on TikTok as well, right?
I'm Aria Velz on TikTok.
Okay.
Look up my name either way.
Okay, great. All right, perfect. That's where people can find you.
Yes.
Why do you always run?
It's like never stop chasing your dreams.
We drank way too much whiskey.
See?
And I confess, my addiction is you. Don't ask me why I'm here tonight. I had to take this midnight drive to find you. And as I come in through the door, I see her dancing on the floor beside you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her jealousy reveals my rage and madness. And knowing you can read my mind consumes me in a shameful kind of sadness. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You are my drug, my ever-waking need. I got you in my blood. You've got me on my knees. Why do you always run back to the love you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction